Greetings and salutations. My name is Tiedra. I am the visionary and founder of King's Kid, which is where we educate individuals on how God creates, covers, carries, and crowns us. So, if you have not been following me, you may not even know the good news. The good news is your girl just got married. So, I will be going from Tiedra Jackson to Tiedra Knox. And one question that I have been receiving since we have got married is how does it feel to be married? And it feels good. It feels great. It feels surreal. And my favorite answer is surreal because my relationship, my thoughts of marriage hasn't always been good. You see, I wasn't the girl that grew up playing with wedding dresses. I wasn't the girl that even grew up having a desire to get married. In my mindset, I felt like I had to choose between either being married, having a family, or a career. I didn't have a this and that mindset. I had a this or that mindset. So for me, it was I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to be committed. I don't want to have to deal with, asking somebody how to spend money and where can we go, what can we afford to do, and all that. Like, I just didn't want to deal with that. I saw marriage as a great thing, but I didn't see it as a great thing for me. I felt like I was just that career oriented person. And so for me to have a change of heart and be here, it's surreal because it shows me that I don't control my future. God does. And my prayer as it related to marriage wasn't that I be married by a certain age. I be married by this and that. My thing was I felt that in order to be married, you had to have it all together. So for me, it was I need to get these degrees first. I need to have a certain amount of money in the bank first. I need to pay off debt. Like, it was just things that I felt like I had to come to the table and be before I could say I do. And I think that was a sign of, once again, a scarcity mindset, but also a sign of worthiness. Like, you had to come with these certain requirements when that's not the case as it relates to marriage at all. So my prayer for marriage was, if I ever get married, I want someone like my grandfather and my dad. And notice the if. Like, I didn't even go to God with boldness. It was like, God, if it happens, it happens. But if it don't, I'm cool with that too. So notice those words in that sentence. If I get married, I want someone like this and this. And God could do a lot with your if. You get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even approach him with boldness. I didn't approach him saying, I want this, this, and this. It was just if. So even in your ifs, I still need you to trust God, because in my if, I ended up having everything I asked for in that one sentence prayer and more. So I also just want to crown you with three jewels that I have learned on this journey. Like, yes, we just had our wedding, but the marriage had already started. And I say that because we didn't wait until the wedding day to try to just fix things. If there was something in our engagement that needed to be addressed, if there was something in our courtship that needed to be addressed, it was addressed then. Just because someone gets married, they are still dealing with things. So marriage is the process of learning, unlearning, and relearning. You're learning what it is to be one as a unit, not the way your parents did it, but the way that you do it. So that's your learning. You're constant learning each other. You're learning, unlearning. You're unlearning the behaviors, those behaviors that can't fit into that one unit. So there are some things that I had to let go mentally, that my mindset, the scarcity mindset, the competition and comparison, like, I had to let those things go because that can't fit in my household. It can't fit in my marriage. And then you're relearning, what does it mean to be in a kingdom marriage? What does God say about marriage, and how do we form that within our household? One of our prayers is always that people will see us but experience God. the thing that I love about our love story is the fact that it's God's hand written all over it. We can't share our story without mentioning God. It's impossible because when you talk to us about our love story, we agree on a lot of things. We weren't interested in each other. We weren't each other types. We're very honest about that. But God can do a lot with a little. And one thing we always say is be careful what you ask for. There were certain things that we didn't pray for, and we laugh about it now because we got it. We laugh about it now because we got it. The second jewel I want to drop is as it relates to the commitment. Yes, I used to think that, oh, it's a commitment. That's a long time to be with somebody. I remember being in high school and one of our professors, he was so excited because he had been married for at least 20 years. Like they had a 20 or 25-year mark. And I remember asking him, you don't get tired of waking up to the same person every single day? Yeah, real ratchet, right? And he looked at me like I was crazy, but I was looking at him like he was crazy because this is a classroom full of high school students, and you're telling them what it's like to be married at 20 and 30 years. And I can't even find one person to be consistent with. So that's hard for me to envision. That's really hard for me to envision. And he told me, he said, I love my wife more now than I did when we first got married. And I didn't understand that either. So me and him going back and forth, and I'm just like, that's a long time to be sleeping with somebody. Like that's one person too. Like you don't get old. Like I'm asking all of these questions, and he's patient and he's kind in answering the questions. And my junior or high school senior self is just asking these questions, and he's still answering them. And this is what I realized. The person that you meet when you first get married is not that same person. They're going to change and they're going to evolve, and the marriage has to as well. So be okay with the commitment is perfect, because the way the commitment start off is not it's not the same way that the commitment ends. You may start off young and end up, you may start off in one career and end up in another career. I mean, even from our engagement, our courtship up until now, I started off in human resources as a recruiter. Now I'm still in a function of human resources, but I'm in training. We've experienced me having a layoff. So everything is so different now than when we first started this journey. And then my last jewel I want to drop is, so many people take the time to plan for the wedding. And our wedding was beautiful. I would not have changed anything. And it did take a lot of time to plan and execute that. And that's another topic for another day. But we spent way more time planning for the marriage and preparing for the marriage. Your wedding is only one day. Your marriage, that goal is for it to be eternal. Prepare for what's eternal. Prepare for what's eternal. Don't prepare for just the wedding day. Prepare for what's eternal. And every decision that we made, it wasn't in regards to, oh, the wedding. It was, okay, you got to live after this. So what is life going to look like after this? Put it in retrospective. We had our venue for 13 hours. So from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. You use those 13 hours however you want to. So 13 hours is the time of you having a wedding, preparing for the wedding, the reception, the experience, and all of that. But when we left that venue, there was still work to be done. The work doesn't stop. So prepare for what's eternal, not just the wedding day. And as I take this journey of being a wife, being someone that's in corporate America, and being an entrepreneur, I'm going to drop jewels on this journey. But that's the question that I got the most. So I thought it would be a great idea to do a video and to share with you all my journey, but while also dropping jewels. So Thank you so much for connecting with me. Subscribe to the Royal Court of King's Kid at www.kingskid.com and stay crowned kings and queens. Bye.